In the world of software development, it feels like we've hit a kind of wall. It's not really about who has the flashiest new tools anymore. It's about who has the smartest processes to actually connect them all. So let's dive into this huge shift from chaos to real coordination. So let's just start with a question that's probably going to feel familiar. Do you ever feel like you spend more time managing your tools and your pipeline than you do actually building great software? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. It's a sign of a much deeper problem. So how on earth did we get here? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that building an application was a much simpler affair. To figure out how to get out of this modern development maze, we first have to understand how we got so tangled up in the first place. And when you look at it side by side, the contrast is, well, it's pretty stark. We've gone from these small teams all in one room to globally distributed teams across time zones. We've gone from long, linear development cycles to this nonstop world of continuous delivery. Simple apps have exploded into these massively complex ecosystems. This isn't just a small step. It's a completely different ballgame. In this new game, it has a whole new set of rules. You're expected to have continuous integration, automated testing for everything, real-time collaboration. The list goes on. But here's the catch. Without some smart coordination, these things don't speed you up. They just overwhelm you. So while our technology has absolutely soared, a lot of our work models have kind of been left behind. And this is where the cracks in the foundation really start to show, leading to some major inefficiencies. Just think about it for a second. Every manual handoff between teams is a place where critical information gets lost. You've got all these disconnected tools that force you to constantly piece together the big picture in your head. Each one of these friction points might seem small on its own, but they add up, they compound, and they create these delays that just ripple through the entire project. So what's the solution? Is it just another tool? No. This quote really hits the nail on the head. It's about fundamentally rethinking the entire workflow and making the whole process smarter. And this brings us right to the heart of this explainer, this huge shift away from rigid, scripted automation and towards something we call intelligent workflow orchestration. Imagine a system that doesn't just blindly follow a script, but actually learns and adapts to how your team really works. Okay, so what is intelligent workflow orchestration? Really? It's not just about automating a bunch of tasks. It's a system that actually learns from your team's patterns and dependencies to build a process that can adapt on the fly. And this is the key. The system adapts to the team, not the other way around. So how does this intelligence actually work? Well, you can really break it down into a simple 4-step process. First, it analyzes how you're already working. Then it identifies the bottlenecks and the repetitive stuff. Next, it intelligently automates those tasks, but in a way that keeps humans in control. And finally, it adapts and evolves based on real-world results. All right, the concept is cool, for sure. But what's the real-world impact? How does this actually change the day-to-day for a developer or a project manager? Well, it all starts with a massive boost in productivity. Just take a look at this. In a traditional workflow, developers spend a huge amount of their brain power just managing the process, the logistics, the handoffs, the status updates. With an intelligent workflow, all that overhead just disappears. It frees them up to focus on what they were hired to do, solve tough problems, and innovate. And what are the specific wins here? We're talking less context switching, which is a huge mental drain. You get real-time alerts when something might become a problem. Testing is integrated at every single stage, which means you drastically cut down on rework. And all of this leads to timelines that are actually predictable and based on data, not just guesswork. But this isn't just about making developers more productive. The real magic, the real game changer, is when this intelligence starts to unite the entire team, from product and design all the way to testing and operations. Because let's be honest, building a modern application is a team sport, period. It's not just developers working in a silo. When your product managers, designers, and testers are all working off different information or on different timelines, well, that's a perfect recipe for delays and quality issues. An intelligent workflow creates a shared language for everybody. It gives you crystal clear ownership, shared visibility into what's happening, and way faster feedback loops. This means the whole team can start making decisions based on data, which lets them be proactive instead of just constantly reacting to problems. And this is absolutely crucial for something like cross-platform development. If you're doing that manually, you're just asking for errors, duplicated work, and inconsistent standards. Intelligent orchestration just solves this. It enforces consistency, it synchronizes your releases, and it aligns everyone around a single source of truth. Now, this isn't just about fixing the problems you have today. Adopting an adaptive workflow like this is really about building a stronger, more resilient foundation for whatever comes next. You can see that whole evolution right here. You might start with a fixed, rigid pipeline that breaks easily, but over time, it evolves into this living system that adapts to complexity, shares what works across teams, and uses its own performance data to get better. Your workflow literally gets smarter over time. And this has huge implications for the business. All of a sudden, leaders get clear answers to critical questions. They can actually understand their team's true delivery capacity. They can make informed decisions about what to build next, and they can finally tie the incredible technical work their teams are doing directly to business value. Now, let's be really clear about something. This is not about replacing people with automation. It's about empowering them. It's about getting all of the friction and the cognitive overload out of their way so that talented creative people can focus on doing their absolute best work. It's a human-centered approach through and through. Okay, so let's just wrap this all up. The problem was complexity, chaos, and disconnected tools. The solution is intelligent orchestration and adaptive processes. And the outcome? It's speed, it's quality, it's alignment, and it's innovation that can actually last. So I'll leave you with this final thought. As we look to the future, what if the next great leap forward in innovation isn't about the code we write at all, but about how we work together to write it?